Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Newbie with Anime with us, but so you can call me Noob. And today I'm going to be doing What If Naruto Was Raised in the Mist Village, part 3. Yeah. As you can see, I changed my intro because my last video got a copyright claim for some reason. I don't know if it was because of the intro, the outro, or something that's entirely different, or all of the above, but I'm not taking chances, so I'm just gonna do a new intro and a new outro and just stick with that. But yeah, no, I think that's about it, so we can get right into it. Chapter 3, The Sowings of the Mist Prodigies. Oh wait, before I start, I just replayed the intro back to see if everything was recording well, and there was a lot of weird mic noise, which reminded me, if you hear anything in the background that's out of my mic being weird, like beforehand, hopefully it stopped now, or, I don't know, someone entering my room, but yeah, with that out of the way, we can finally get into it. What if Naruto is raised in the Mist Village? Chapter 3, The Sowings of the Mist Prodigies. Like the last video, this is gonna be a long one. So now the day for the tuning exams has come, and the two teams head off to the Leaf. Yagura, Mei, Udakata, Ao, and Amayuri wish them all good luck. Now as they leave the gates of the Mist Village, Goen and Sugetsu instantly get into a fight over how they were going to get to the Leaf. Sugetsu wanted to use his hydrification jutsu with all of them in his water, while Goen wanted to use her crystal style with all of them in her crystals. While they were arguing and the others were getting annoyed at their antics, Haku goes to Naruto and asks, "Where is the leaf exactly?" "Oh, it's just a bit over there." And Naruto says as he points to west or something. I don't know the exact distance or whatever. Okay, Haku says, and he then makes a crystal ice mirror wide enough to fit all of them. He makes another one where Naruto had pointed and just grabbed the 7 of them and went into the mirror and speeded to the other mirror. So a 1 to 2 day trip turned into a 1 to 2 second trip. Instead, before any of them could process what Haku had done, Naruto went off to the Leaf Gates and the others just had no choice but to follow him. When Kotetsu and Izumo, those two guys always in front of the gates, yes, I know their names, when Kotetsu and Izumo see foreign ninja just enter the village, they almost stop them, but a water clone of Naruto comes back and explains it. As the crew are walking to the exam building, Zabuza and Getsu decide to get some of that Ichiraku ramen Naruto praises all the time. So now the 6 prodigies are walking, but then they see some kid in black holding a small child by their scarf. Naruto recognizes that kid as Konohamaru and immediately blitzes towards them and karate chops the kid's hand, letting Konohamaru go. He then picks Konohamaru up and jumps away from the 2 people in front of him. And when he lands down, he yells, "Just what the hell do you think you're doing?" Kankuro gets annoyed at this and says, "Dang kid, calm down. He bumped into me and I was just teaching him a lesson. Besides, why do you care anyway?" "Because it could start a war between the villages if you just start attacking the citizens, idiot." Naruto says. Kankuro is already getting fed up with Naruto and is about to get his puppet out, but he gets stopped by Gaara. "Kankuro, apologize, or I'll kill you." Suddenly, Naruto felt this wave of bloodlust, but it was nothing when compared to even Chojo's bloodlust, and he's the wimpiest one out of the 6. Owaka is then thrown at Gaara, and this is where Sasuke jumps down. As he jumps down, Sakura and the other 5 prodigies are caught up with the others. All of you state your business here. Why would you start such a ruckus in a foreign village? You can get in trouble for that. Tamari apologizes for her team, and then Sasuke turns to Naruto and says, "And you? Where is your apology?" "Well, seeing how I am technically a citizen of this village and how I know the kid in my arms, I'd say you don't need an apology," Naruto replied. "Oh yeah? And why would you not need an apology?" Sakura chips in, just ignoring everything Naruto said. "Well, that's because I'm Konohagakure. I'm Konohagakure. Yeah. Konohagakure royalty. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the son of Kusino Uzumaki, the red-hot habanero of the leaf, as well as... We don't care. Just gets interrupted. We don't care if you think you're special because your parents got some title. If they aren't important enough to be in the books, then they aren't important at all, Sakura says angrily. Well, Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha, I'd say that Minato Namikaze, the yellow flash of the leaf, the fourth Hokage, my father, is pretty important. So shut up. Sakura and Sasuke are stunned, and so is the Sand Trio. Hearing this puts Sasuke, Sakura, and Sai, who had just come onto the scene, in a state of shock. Kankuro and Tamari said the same shock, but... Gaara? Gaara had only felt bloodlust and rushed at Naruto with his sand, even though he is still holding Konohamaru. This is where the prodigies leave their impression. Tojiro, Wano, Go, and Haku and Suigetsu were about to draw the blades, but Naruto signals them that it's okay. He then lightly threw Konohamaru toward the prodigies, spinned around, drew his wooden blade, and cut up all the sand coming at him, and dashed at Gaara and smacked him with about 1/4 of his strength in one single motion. This pushes Gaara back to where Tamari and Kankuro are. If Team 7 was shocked before, they were definitely even more shocked. It looked like as if he was dancing. That's how swift and clean it was. Naruto then picks Konohamaru back and seized his blade. Why does Naruto have a wooden blade? For 2 reasons. 1, to use it on weaker people, and 2, for a reason that I'll bring up later. Rereading it, I don't bring it up in this video, but the next missed video, I will bring it up. Yeah. Like I was saying, I'm Konohagakure royalty. Yeah. But I don't like to bring this up since I typically find it unnecessary. And then, before anything else could happen, before any other word could be said, Zabuza and Mangetsu had returned, and Zabuza said, "Dang, you are not kidding when you said that ramen stop was amazing. I went in for one bowl and left with about 4 in my belly, and we didn't even stop there." Mangetsu chimed in. "Since the regular type was so good, we bought spicy, shrimp, pork, and even a mystery flavor to go." Then Naruto puts Konohamaru down, walks over to the two, and asks, "There is a mystery flavor?" "Yeah, there is." "Oh, voice crack." "Yeah, there is." Naruto then dashes, and I mean dashes, towards Ichiraku's. They could barely even see him. Well, I guess that's what you get for telling Naruto anything about ramen," Haku says while chuckling. Let me redo that while chuckling. "Well, I guess that's what you get for telling Naruto about ramen," Haku says while talking. There we go. "Well, it's about time for us to head to the building. We have somewhere to be for the journey, so good luck, you 6. Well, 5 since Naruto isn't here," Mangetsu says. And then the 2 of them leave. Then the prodigies leave, and after a little while, the rest leave as well. When they got into the building, instead of people intimidating them, they were intimidating the people. Then the test starts, and it ends with them all getting pretty good scores. Then Uncle bursts through the window and begins the next part of the exam. Someone else comes in through the window, though. He's wearing a Mr. Village shirt with a green jacket on top of it, black pants, blonde spiky hair, blue eyes, whiskers on his cheeks, and a pink scar-like mark on his left cheek that starts at his left eye and ends at the end of the cheek. So imagine just like that pink line going over the whisper. And yes, this is Naruto, and based on my description, Naruto is just wearing Kagura's outfit from Boruto. And if you don't remember Kagura is Yagura's grandson in canon. I'm not sure if it's grandson or his son, but I'm pretty sure it's his grandson. Am I late? Naruto asks. "Sorry, kid, but the test ended already. Unless you can finish it in 8 seconds, you have no luck," Ibiki says. But Naruto just grabs an empty test and writes on it really fast and hands it in. Then says, "Boom! Did it in 4 seconds. Ha! Everyone, even the rest of the sextuple, sex, who was surprised at this. Sextuple is just another way to say sex. Sex. They didn't think he was able to finish it that fast, let alone while the paper was in the air. But they still held on to the force of death. At the first, nothing special happens. The prodigies get their own scrolls and say that from now on until the end of the exam, they are enemies. Team 1 had an Earth scroll while Team 2 had a Heaven scroll. And then, it begins. Team 1, Naruto, Tojo, and Suigetsu have already walked a few miles before Suigetsu gets bored and annoyed. So Naruto makes one meal at the start of the gate and one at the end. This allowed him to fly around everywhere and get the scroll they needed. He comes back down, grabs the other two, and tries to dash toward the end, but he stops when he bumps into Haku. Since they were going at such high speeds, they were blown back a bit. Since Haku had done the same thing as Naruto, they bumped into each other. But before they could apologize and all that, they saw someone in the middle of the two teams. And here's where it begins. Orochimaru was salivating looking at the chakra signatures. They all quickly jumped back and draw their swords, sensing his malice chakra. "What do you want with us?" Haku asked, putting his mask on. "All I want is to have 6 new bodies for me to live for a little while. You wouldn't mind, would you?" And then Gohan appears behind him and tries to strike, but he dodges and uses striking Shadow Snake through her chest. But she turned into crystal. He not only couldn't move his arm, but he noticed the crystal starting to form on his body. He tries to use a substitution jutsu, but he can't since he feels his chakra getting drained. Then the 6 all strike with a powerful slash at the same time, which travels towards Orochimaru, and the crystal explodes. So like imagine the 6, the 6 of them infuse the blade of chakra, and then they all slash at the same time, and the chakra that was on the blades get off the blades and strike Orochimaru. Yeah, and that strike explodes the crystal. Yeah. They let their guard down for the quickest second, and within that second, Orochimaru had appeared behind him and kicked Naruto and Suigetsu back, grabbing Tojo and Wamaru and then throwing them to the side. Haku and Gohan were headbutted. They all bounced back and landed on their feet. "This guy is dangerous. We have to use our strongest attacks. Now, let's go!" Naruto says as they all nod. Tojo is the first to go. Yeah, he's the sized one, but he's the first to go. He was seemingly going to try straight downward slash, but he did a bunch of fake outs at higher speed than he's ever gone. This was fast enough to confuse even Orochimaru since he was planning on dodging the downward slash. Doing all these fake outs, Haku appeared behind them and cut him up with his thin blade. Then when Orochimaru turns around to deal with Haku, Tojo strikes with his built-up momentum and does a downward slash. I didn't give it a name in the story, but I call that attack fake out slash, since it was a bunch of fake outs and a slash. And I'm not sure if I'm using the word fake out correctly, but I don't care. Yeah, this was done with enough speed and force that Orochimaru was sent down to the ground, making a decent-sized crater. Gohan wasted no time and used Crystal Spine Jutsu, and the jewel formed on her hand and slammed it in his back. Orochimaru did get up after a little while, but when he got up, Wamaru used his dojutsu to make sure it was actually him, and when he saw that it was, he casted a genjutsu that made him immobilized while making him feel excruciating pain. And Wamaru reflected this pain by doing multiple slashes. And as the genjutsu was just wearing off, Wamaru jumped away, but Orochimaru used his grasshopper sword to stab him in the gut. But this was only a false chakra signature accompanied with a false image. After image, you can say. Then Suigetsu slashed through the image and ended up cutting Orochimaru. He gets back up and slashes again and just keeps on doing this. Then after a while of this, Naruto comes out of nowhere and uses Vapor Style, a Wapsin kick. You know, Han's jutsu from Stormfall. Orochimaru was slammed into a wall that was turned into a lava wall, since Naruto had used lava style lava wall beforehand. And And then Naruto used Vapor Style Acid Explosion and immediately used Lava Style Lava Monster afterward. So the acid went on Orochimaru, and then even more acid went on him, burning him like twice as badly. Then he uses Lava Style Weber Ball to enclose all of that heat and acidity in Weber. Yeah, and had him bounce around the forest, like swinging him all around the forest. And then he says, change you to crucifixion, and golden chains come out of the ground and penetrate the ball, hanging him up. They penetrate the ball, cutting through him multiple times and hanging him up, hanging him up in the air at a high distance. Yeah, I'm stuttering a lot than last time. Then yeah, the chains were absorbing his chakra at a rapid rate. Alright, this is the final stretch. Team 2, attack! Naruto yells. Haku and Gohan then hold hands and say, Crystal Ice Mirrors! And they surround Orochimaru. Haku used needle clone jutsu and threw them around while also cutting them up with his blade. So he threw the multiplying needles, and Haku was also like traveling in between the big mirrors, cutting Orochimaru. Gohan then uses Crystal Style, Falling Twin Dragons, and they go through the mirrors as well. As this is happening, Ranmaru goes up in front of Orochimaru and says, Water Style, Water Surface Slash, cutting him down. He then uses Lightning Style, Thunderclap and Flash, sixfold, and does the same thing Zenitsu did, but all of it was on one guy. As you should be able to tell, I used Demon Slayer attacks, Water Breathing and Thunder Breathing. Will I just have Ranmaru be able to use Water Breathing and Thunder Breathing, but we name it as Jutsu? Probably. Yeah. Will I have anyone else do that? Probably not. But you never know. That thunderclap and flash broke the mirrors, and when that happened, Naruto said, Team 1 now! And Suigetsu used Water Dragon Jutsu, Wise. And Water Dragon Jutsu, rose from the ground and hit Orochimaru down. Then he used Water Dragon Jutsu, Speed. And another Water Dragon coming out of nowhere just zoomed around Orochimaru, making him dizzy, then hit him again, back up at Suigetsu, and then he uses Tri Water Dragon Jutsu. And 3 Water Dragons just come out on all sides and just blow him up into the air. He then jumps up and uses his Hydrification Jutsu to buff his arm up and just berate him with strong cuts and punches. Then Tojiro comes up and he says, Water Style, Whirlpool Slash Attack! Water then surrounds Orochimaru and slashes come from everywhere, and then he was let out and cut down by Tojiro, who jumped away. And then they all yell, Naruto! Who comes up and uses Ice Style, Ice Dragon Jutsu, which blows Orochimaru back into the ground. Naruto made 4 clones that say all at once, Fire Style, Fire Jutsu, Water Style, Water Dragon Jutsu, Earth Style, Flying Stone Fist, Wind Style, Great Breakthrough, and Lightning Style, Thunderball. They all hit him at once, and Naruto says, Combination Jutsu, Elemental Strike Attack. Then the other 5 of the 6 land down by Naruto. Tojiro asks, Is it over yet? But then Orochimaru appeared behind them, revealing that the Devastator and being Orochimaru in front of them was fake. He appears behind them and had snakes that had the curse mark try to bite all 6 at once, but they cut the snakes' heads off. He then jumps back, but stops since he has lost way too much chakra and becomes immobilized, only being able to move his upper body. And if I didn't say it before, the golden chains that Naruto used to cast Crucifixion, those were chakra absorbing chains. That's why he's immobilized. Excuse me. I thought this was going to be way longer, but no, only 20 minutes. Yeah. It's only 2 pieces. It's only 2 pages off of the last chapter of Sand Village. I'm getting off topic. Yeah, he's only able to move his upper body. The prodigies then get into a formation with Tojiro at the back and with his blade in his mouth. he has his hands on Haku and Goen's shoulders who are in front of him. Haku and Goen were crossing their swords with the right and left hands, while the opposite of those hands were on Suigetsu and Ranmaru. Suigetsu in front of Haku, Ranmaru in front of Goen. Ranmaru and Suigetsu had the swords on Naruto's shoulders and the hands on his arms. Naruto had both hands on his sword. All of them then said at the same time, "Hidden Mist Jutsu!" Then the thickest mist had spread out almost 500 kilometers away from that area, and they all had clones go out and attack them. 500 kilometers. If I'm thinking about it correctly, that might even go outside the forest area. They all had clones go out and attack them. They all went up on Orochimaru and used combination jutsu, sextuple slash, and they all struck him at once, which made him feel even more pain. Then after that jutsu, the real six were ready. They all jumped up and let gravity have them fall, with Naruto saying, "Secret technique, hidden mist style, Mist Dragon slash strike!" And this just chops Orochimaru down. And then they land, falling over, since that was their first time using it and they lost a lot of energy and chakra. When they look back, they see that he is not only decapitated, but he is also cut in half both ways. Yes, Orochimaru dies here. Wink wink. But not willing to take any chances, Naruto and Haku did the same thing before he started attacking them and blitzed around the whole forest and got the scrolls they needed and made it to the building, since the scrolls they got the first time had come off of them since they started fighting. Yeah. When they got there, they were the first ones there and had realized it was already evening. So that fight took at most 2 hours, at least half an hour. They talk about how impressive it was to see all of the best abilities in action. After a week, the preliminaries begin. End of chapter 3. Okay. Now that that's over, I am kinda surprised and a bit disappointed that it's not longer, that this video isn't longer, because, yeah, chapter 3 is 11 pages, and chapter 5 of the Sand Village was 13 pages, so it was only 2 pages off. So I would only assume that I read this a lot faster than I typically would. Yeah. I think, yeah, no. Oh, right. If you heard any pauses in between me speaking, or any clicks or anything like that, yeah, I paused the recording at most 3 times during this video to get water and go to the bathroom and all that stuff. And yeah. Anything else? Oh wait, yeah. I said in the last video that I'd upload every 2 days, right? For that to happen, what I originally thought I would have to do is I thought I'd have to work on 2 chapters and record 2 videos on my day off so I can upload them the next day and just do the same thing for all of eternity. But then I asked my sister about it, and then she told me what I could do. And so yeah, I'm just gonna make 1 chapter, record this video, and then upload it tomorrow, because the day I'm recording it, it's the day after I uploaded the Sand Village so it's it's Monday. Speaking of, happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I mean, by the time you'll be seeing this, it'll be Tuesday and it would have passed, but you get the idea. And yeah, I'm probably gonna start working on the Sand Village tomorrow, record it tomorrow, then upload it the day after that, and just keep going on. So I kinda still have to do that cycle, but yeah, no, I think that's it. Hope anyone watching this has a great day. Bye. Noob out. Mwah. Love ya.